First of all, I want to publicly thank all of the fans who stuck with us in a tough season. It didn't start out nearly how we wanted it to. You know, there's an underlying narrative there that we are going to try and fix. The Seattle Sounders want to be competitive from day one. We want to compete for every trophy that we have. Those are important cornerstones of what I believe in, what the coaching staff believes in, and that narrative we want to change a little bit, but thank you to all the fans, some of you in the room here, that you've stuck with us. I want to thank the team and the players, and you know, they deserve all the credit here. Obviously, some of the players, you know, have had great years. You're talking about Steph starting at the back. You talk about Steph, Chad. You know, Ozzy's had a good, remarkable year. Nico setting records. Raul, I think that stat is 10 goals in 14 games. Is that correct? You confirm. Okay. So it's not easy at times to be a pro soccer player. I know pro athletes, they have a good job, and I remind them of that all the time. But for some of the senior players who don't get playing time, for some of the younger guys that want their chance, they fight, they do everything that we asked of them at training. No one has ever quit. And so the team deserves all the credit for this season. This year, we've had a couple players leave the team. Well, you could almost say Jordan in some ways left the team because he got injured in the first game. And he's a tough kid, and he's going to be back. If we make it all the way, that kid will make it back, I know. But Magnus Eikram was here, very good player, maybe not the right time, right place, whatever, helped us in a big game in Toronto. So I'd like to thank him publicly. You know, we talk about Clint. So he is well, arguably, the greatest goal scorer this country's ever produced. And I want to thank him for his efforts and contributions to the team. You know, there's another side of Clint that some of you guys might not know. So he's a pretty well-known guy. And even after a tough loss, you know, in the airports, you know, people come up to him, they recognize him. And he's always been good about having people take his photo, selfies, you know, saying hello. He's a good individual. He's a good person. I want to thank the press. I want to thank all of you for covering the team. I think you guys have been objective in the coverage of the team. Obviously, early in the season, we take shots. We get it. We understand that part of it. But our narrative, the slow starts and all that, I think was covered. You know, you guys covered it in a way where people asked questions. And, you know, you guys did your jobs. But at the end, I felt that you guys also gave your readers or listeners, you know, the facts, which I appreciated. Of course, I don't agree with everything you guys do, but, you know, I follow a lot of you guys on social media. But again, I want to thank you guys. You know, our partners, Q13, you know, the local blogs, everybody, the local guys at the Scrum I see every day, the superstars in the room. You know, the guys that come and cover us at the right moments, I want to thank all of you. It's been my pleasure to work with you guys. I want to thank the staff, the fitness staff, the medical staff, all of those guys. They do a good job. They have done, you know, such a great job to keep the guys healthy, keep them back in shape. I think Damien has come on and done a good job of trying to raise the level of our franchise as far as our sports science department is concerned. We want to kind of creep up to an EPL level, and we want to make sure that we do the best job we can in a sometimes long slog of an MLS season. My coaching staff, I want to thank them because they do a great job. It's important that you guys know that was the best half season in MLS history. And I couldn't have done it without those people. So for that, I'm thankful. And I'm ready for questions.
Harvey, I think I saw you first. Coach, you know, those last minutes while you were trailing and at the same time Colorado was trailing, then things started to change. How much were you aware of what was happening in Denver, and how much were you able to relate to your team? What was that span like?
That was intense. I mean, we were aware of what was happening, but how do you get that information to the players? It was Ozzie at one point, okay, let's go forward. Ozzie, no, at the other point, let's stay back. Let's not take a goal. Let's, there was so much going on, and that's one of the dramas. That's, whoever thought of, this decision day, it's great. It's great for all the fans. It gives us, a little bit of faster heartbeat, but that's what we want to do. We want to try and entertain people, soccer fans around this country. So we tried to get the information there, but again, I bring it back to the team. This team did not want to draw. They obviously didn't want to lose, but they did not want to draw the last game of the year in front of the fans that they were trying to impress. They wanted to end this season on a positive note for their mentality, for their never say die mentality. That's why this team is capable of a championship, because of that.
Jose?
Coach, would you be able to speak about Victor Rodriguez's contributions today, and as have they been in the last 5 games? I know they're in practice this week, you spoke about it, but on the heels of his performance today, would you be able to...
He has been great. Ever since that injury has gone by the wayside, he has been great. Everything that Chris saw when he went to visit him, went to scout him, I think he was a DP target at one time. He has been great. As advertised, goal dangerous, very good technically. He's a good team guy, good in the locker room. It's what we want as far as players are concerned here at the Sounders.
Jaime?
2 questions, if I may. First, can you talk about Raúl Ruidíaz's performance today? Then I'll ask the second question.
Well, Raúl gets paid to score goals, and I think you guys saw that tonight. There again, it was someone that the coaching staff we identified, we wanted. The front office took note. They gave us what we needed. I think that was a team effort as far as getting him here to the Seattle Sounders. So that is a big bonus for us.
Thank you. And obviously you seem very sentimental right now, talking about the team. What is this team for you today?
Championship caliber team. They have a chance. That's all we can ask.
Jeremiah?
Nuhu had a play there right before he came out where he looked like he sprinted about 80 yards. I don't think he got credited with the tackle, but he pressured the what could have been a 2-on-0 break, could have made it 2-1. I don't know, what is that something that you see in him? I mean, what does it take for a guy to just kind of go into an 80-yard sprint like that?
Jeremiah, I'm going to have to watch the tape, but my initial take on it, I'll be a little tongue-in-cheek here with Nuhu because he's still a young kid. I got to still keep him grounded. But maybe his initial positioning wasn't quite in the right spot, that he had to sprint 80 yards. Maybe when he gets a little seasoning, he covers a little bit, and then he only has to sprint 40. But he is absolutely a tremendous athlete and a game kid, and he's learning on the job. There's been some challenging moments for sure, but the kid has a really bright future.
Right here.
Coach, were you expecting such a close match for this game?
Yes, because I know Chris Wondolowski. I know that every team in MLS, it's a professional sport. People want to be spoilers. Tommy Thompson came on, and I felt really, I have to name him, he had a great performance because he hadn't been in the team. They all want to show their new coach that they can play, that they deserve to be on the field. So we messaged that to the team. Chris did a great job coming out in a 4-4-2 diamond, which caused us some problems in the first half. So the entire organization from San Jose deserves credit for not packing it in. That team did not quit either.
Nico?
You have the great players that you brought in, like DPs that came to this team. When you needed to make a change and bring somebody from the bench, you go with Hanwala. How important is it that you get these players that are young and you have the confidence in them to show up at a big game like this?
Well, I think you guys saw why I put him on the field. I mean, the game was, was okay. We were, creating some chances, but he provided a very big spark off the bench. So having young players come in and either do their jobs, spark the team, in training, do what they need to do to raise the level of the entire group, those are expectations that we have. And Handwalla, Henry Wingo, Tony, Jordan McCrary, all those guys on the team do exactly what we asked them to do, without question. And so Handwalla got rewarded for getting some playing time, and he's making the most of it.
John?
Coach, San Jose gets the opening goal. What was the message to the team, if there was any, and how did that affect your decision-making for substitutions going forward?
Well, it mattered at the substitution patterns for sure. But look, the goal came off Chad. I mean, I saw the highlights. How did we get stretched? The game wasn't quite going the way I wanted it to. I thought the transition moments, we were pressing a little bit more. I thought the team was go, 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 when they might have had a little bit more patience to break them down. But, we'll talk about that. We'll watch the film. We'll see what went wrong, what went right. But it certainly, at 1-0 down, changed the way we thought about the subs for sure.
All right.
Yeah, now that it's officially clinched, what's your reaction to getting the bye for the knockout round? And is that a little bit of a stress relief or weight off your mind where now you can kind of sit back and see who you play as opposed to preparing for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's good in the sense that this was an emotional game. So that team in there, again, is a pretty veteran-laden group. And would I have had any doubt that we could come on a Wednesday or Thursday and a quick turnaround to put on a good performance? No. I think they would have, because they're a game team. But sometimes in those emotional moments, you have a tough game, is there any letdown? Is there any physical recovery because the guys had to put it in today? You saw Portland's lineup choices. I mean, there you have it. So obviously getting a week's rest certainly is beneficial to us, and, we'll see if we can't take advantage of that.
Steven?
Christian Roldan became the first outfield player in club history to pass 3,000 minutes, start all 34 games today. Can you speak to what goes into attaining a marathon accomplishment like that?
Well, a kid could run a marathon if he wanted to. He's got enough of it up here. He's got the physical characteristics. I think I'm a broken record sometimes with Christian. He does everything we asked. Tactically astute, good physically, good in the air. He's a kid that every coach loves to have on his team.
You talked a little bit about how decision day is entertaining for the fans, creates a lot of drama. How difficult is it for you to make your substitution decisions, your tactics, just relaying all that stuff as you're getting score updates? Just how difficult is it down there while that's going on?
Well, again, I have a lot of help. So, I'm sitting next to Gonzalo Pineda. I'm sitting next to Tommy Dutra, Preki, who's Coach of the Year, Jimmy Traore. I mean, it makes my job a little easier when I get good counsel. Obviously, you have to make tough choices. Pulling Gustav there at the end was a tough choice. How are we going to, I've kept Gustav in most games. I can't remember the last time I subbed him off. But, those tough choices we have to make, the players all understand it. And, sometimes you look like a genius, and other times you might be criticized. So, again, I just lean on the people that I trust, and they usually give me good counsel and good guidance, and we make those decisions.
Felipe, and then time for one or two follow-ups.
So, Coach, can you tell us about your experience in the bench while the game was going? So we started looking at the results on the screens, and things were changing from minute to minute and goal to goal while other teams scored. What was your experience in the bench?
Well, my experience was trying to focus on our game and also then get score updates and then make tough decisions like we just discussed about the substitution patterns. I actually, during the first half, had a little more chance to watch the screen. I don't know who put that up there in our stadium, but it was right across from me, so I could kind of watch the scores in the first half. But then in the second half, when the game was really going, I had to focus more on my team and relied on the people next to me.
Time for one or two more. I think I saw Jeremiah first.
Yeah, I realize this is kind of an awkward way of putting it, but you take yourself back to June 30th or so. Did you really think that? Did you look at this team and think, yeah, we have 14 more wins, 15 more wins in us?
Absolutely. This team is good, regardless of what some of your people might think. Thank you for opening yourself up again. But not once did the coaching staff, the front office staff, a lot of our fans in this building give up on this team or not believe that they could do something special. You would be silly or you would be remiss to count that group of players out of any situation. We're going to try and change a narrative, Jeremiah. We're going to try and change a narrative. We don't want to put ourselves in that much of a hole. We'd rather go through a season where people start talking about, okay, the Sounders are legitimate contenders for the Shield. We'll work on that. I'll address that. But I would never, ever not believe in our team. I would never, ever not want to be an opponent that has to play a team that's won 14 out of 16 games. Because that doesn't come around very often. And again, you ask yourself why. Why have we won 14 out of 16 games? There's a lot of national pundits. You guys can talk about it. I know why. I'll let you guys figure out the reasons why.
Take one more to get you guys into the locker room. Nico, go ahead.
Brian, when you look back at being an intern coach, when Siggy left, and now you've been to 2 consecutive finals, you brought a title, you're now a contender to win a third one. How do you describe that journey? And beyond that, what is it about you that you think has, you always talk about the players, they did great, but you're also a denominator in that.
Nico, I'm going to cut you short. I've had a really talented team from day one since I've came on board. I have really, really talented assistants. We have a front office that cares. We have ownership that cares. My job is not the most difficult job in the world. It certainly has its fair share of difficult days, but the people that support this club are all driven to be good people, good human beings, winners. So again, all credit goes to those players in there, the people that work for this organization, Adrian and Garth and Chris and everybody, Joe is here. I mean, this is a top to bottom great organization. I'm proud to work for them.